Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addicts, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Other than that, guys, happy Sunday. As you guys know, I like to call Sunday God's Day, although, honestly, guys, in my life today, every day is God's Day. My higher power, you got to find your higher power, build your relationship with it, call it whatever you will. I'm not here to box anybody out, but and I think they're all at the end of the day basically just the same thing wrapped in different description. Guys, the reading today is about mercy and justice, and very important distinction between the two. I'm going to go ahead and do the reading. We'll talk about it. Ask for mercy, not for justice. Many of us have difficulty admitting we caused harm for others. Well, in recovery, we cut away our justification and our ideas of being a victim. Our lives are progressing nicely. Things are going good, and each year in recovery brings more material and spiritual gifts. We may have a little money in the bank, a new car, or even a committed relationship. We have a little self-confidence, and our faith in our higher power is growing. And then something may happen. Somebody might break into that new car, steal the stereo, or we might get cheated on. Right away, we feel victimized again. Where's the justice, we wail? But if we take a look back at our own behavior, we may find that at one point or another, we've been guilty of doing the same thing that's just been done to us. When we realize this, we wouldn't really want justice, not for ourselves, and then maybe not so much for anybody else either. What we really want is mercy. We thank a loving God for the compassion we've been shown, and we take the time to appreciate all the precious gifts recovery brings. And then the affirmation is just for today. I will pray for mercy, not for justice. I am grateful for the compassion I've been shown, and I will offer mercy to others. Guys, it's funny. I do these readings, and I look back, and I try to see how they've applied. And one of the most shocking things I came to realize, I've been on this recovery journey for just about over a year, and I've been clean for about what's today's date? I think today is the 5th. Tomorrow, I will have 9 months of continuous sobriety. But like I said, I started praying about a year ago, and that's what started my journey. But much more than that, once I started becoming aligned with my higher power, whom I choose to call God, I started to look at things and realize that now that I'm doing the right things, everything is lining up for me. Like, the biggest thing for me is my driver's license. I was under so many habitual offenders, it was absolutely insane. It did not look like I was ever going to have the chance to get my license back, right? Well, suddenly that became true, and I realized because over the last 10 years, I have not had a conviction, even though I could have very easily picked up an OUI when I crashed my wife's car. I had been trying to get clean. I hadn't used in like 10 days, and then I went out and got some heroin. I ended up nodding out at the wheel, ended up 2 towns over and crashing the car. And I was showing compassion because it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I was working, this, that, the other. Before that, I had a situation where somebody didn't close my tailgate, and some stuff fell out of the back of my truck, and I beat that case, and I ended up getting arrested, and I got in a car accident. I ended up beating both of those cases, guys. So I'm a person that's never beat a case in my life. Like, I've got a horrible record, and I always end up taking a plea because the pitfalls, the trials and tribulations, because of the totality of my record, they tend to get to be really severe, and I'm kind of forced to plea out. Well, all of a sudden, all these things that have happened over the last 10 years, I've had court-appointed lawyers, same situations that have always been the case, but suddenly somebody was convincing me to fight on my own. Not even somebody who was convincing me, but somebody who was willing to fight on my behalf. And I was ready to take plea bargains and just get it written off, but they said, no, this would be better to get it off your record. So because God started putting me in the right place, people and places, He was setting the stage for my comeback, is what I'm trying to get at. All of a sudden, I got into recovery and realized that for once in my life, I've got a 10-year stretch without a conviction, which opens up a lot of doors for me, guys. It means I'm no longer a habitual offender, making me eligible for my license. It means in another couple of years, I will be eligible to get my records sealed. I can try to get my full rights restored, so I can go try and get a license to carry. I can vote. I can do all these things today because God had a plan for me, and I understand that now. Because at any other point in my life, I would have just gotten more convictions. I'd still be individual. But all of a sudden, even though I wasn't changing, because I was trying, and I had adopted a policy where I was trying to be a better person, but I was still using drugs and I was still failing miserably, but my actions were better. But I didn't see the idea that all of a sudden the results that I was getting were also different. And now that I'm in recovery and I look back on it, it's shocking to me. It makes me feel so incredibly aligned. It makes me understand that I was shown so much compassion. I was shown so much mercy that I didn't necessarily really deserve at the time. And I guess we all do, but it wasn't like it was my first time mistake. These are all things that I've been, I've got multiple, multiple convictions on. That drug OUI would have been my fifth offense OUI. I would have been doing a 5-year mandatory sentence, and it was a car accident, so they had every right to do it. And I nodded out in the police station. They had to have the ambulance come and Narcan me, and yet they didn't charge me for it. Like, I look back at that and I'm like, boy, if that's not a direct gift from my higher power, and also smartened me up, I would no longer drive, without a license, and certainly not when I was doing drugs, because I caught a break for a change, right? So many opportunities that I've been shown compassion, and now I'm reaping the benefits of it, because again, I was able to start my business. I was able to go to school at Harvard. If I was on probation, parole, none of these things, I wouldn't have been eligible for the RAF's back rent help. I wouldn't have got my government help. I wouldn't have got my scholarship to Harvard. I would not have been able to open my business. Like, I wouldn't have been able to open my bank accounts. Like, all these things have happened because God was paving the way for me and giving me compassion, putting me in places where I was given mercy. I was shown mercy, right? Rather than having just the book thrown at me like I'm used to throughout my entire life. Talk about feeling seen and heard, guys. So, as I understand, these things came to me in rehab. I'm like, because somebody was going over it. I was filling out an intake interview, and the lady was doing it. Says, boy, you're in a good position to really just take a clean slate and start fresh. And I realized it. I'm like, I hadn't even come to that conclusion myself, but I when I looked at what she was talking about, I understood that she was exactly correct. And I'm like, wow, like, I didn't understand any of that. And I was a little shocked by it, because I'm just used to, for the last 30 plus years, all these things were always a problem. To suddenly no longer be under the threat of anything from the government, not having to report to anybody, to not have these labels attached to me anymore, it's amazing. And it's already, made a huge difference. I got pulled over a couple months back, and I was given a warning. I'm like, dude, any other time in my life, guys, I get handcuffs, not a written warning. I actually have my written warning tag stapled to the wall in front of my desk here as a reminder of the grace that I've been shown. So I've taken that, and guys, I still deal with life on life terms. We all do. I have people do things to me. The difference today is, guys, I don't have to go seek justice. I seek mercy for myself and mercy for other people around me. When it's funny, as I've been doing these things, and again, in the early days, I had to catch myself constantly. As somebody cut me off, I'd react, and then I'd catch myself. As I do so more and more, I find myself, like just about an hour ago, I was driving back from Roxbury. I had to go set up some security cameras at a property we sold. I stopped at the Carhartt store, bought some new work pants, because I'm, gaining some weight and I don't fit in my other work pants anymore. I suspect somebody shrank them. Anyway, I won't go there. But somebody cut me off hard in an F-150, and my immediate reaction was to tap the brakes and wave them in. Like, I no longer have to get upset about it, because I understand I've done it myself a million times. There's no point in getting mad about it. There's no point in yelling and screaming. Like, they were going through Boston traffic just like I was. It's a beautiful day out. People are everywhere, and people are being knuckleheads. There was some construction on the road. They had no choice. They had to come into my lane. They used the blinker, and they did. They cut me off hard, but it was that or run somebody over. So I jammed my brake, and I let them in, and I just waved them. And that felt good, guys. And the thing of it is, as I drove away, I understood this is the culmination of prayer and meditation and training my brain and accepting these spiritual lessons and then trying to apply them in my life. And they've literally changed the person that I am. I feel like I'm on the advanced track to beauty in my life, because I've seen it at every opportunity. But it is amazing when you are used to working with a set of variables, and all of a sudden they've changed, and then a situation pops up and you catch yourself having reacted differently and not even thought about it. Like, it just puts a smile on your face, because you understand that you've moved into that next chapter of your life, And guys, every time we step up and become better people, we invite better situations into our life, and that's exactly what I've done. So now I'm out here trying to spread as much of that in the nice, and again, I can't force anything down somebody's throat, because when you do, you just push them away. But at every opportunity, like I was wearing my recovery shirt earlier. I was over in Roxbury, so I was going to the intersection of Mass Ave and Melanie and Cass Boulevard, Methanol Mile. People out there everywhere, and I used to drive through there quite a bit because A, I used to live over there, and B, the place I used to work, used to live at, we turned into 7 condos, so I was doing all the work over there. And I've talked about it many times on this channel, that one homeless girl, and I don't know if she's homeless or what her deal is, but the one girl that would always be at the one intersection begging for change, and I always try to give her something and give her a little encouragement. Guys, I pulled up today, and the only thing I had on me was a $5 bill, so I handed her the $5 bill, and she was shocked, because, I guess, they feel happy if they get $1. But I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize you guys. Homeless people or beggars on the side, on the corner that I used to see regularly, even look at and go, wow, you look really good, you look amazing, you look so handsome. Guys, it's amazing today, right? Like, being my best self has changed everything about me. And again, I'm not perfect, but I'm still every day paying attention and being intentional about learning these lessons, applying them to my life, living in a state of gratitude, showing mercy to other people, trying to be a part of the solution whenever possible, being willing to stop and not be in such a rush. Because that's the thing, guys, I was always in such a rush that I never paid attention to anything that was going on around me. Today, I try to plan things accordingly so I'm not rushed. And it's amazing how many things I pick up on today that I used to miss out on. And I see that when I apply those things to my life, or I just share them with somebody else, it makes me a part of something, and then all of a sudden something else will come along because I wasn't rushing through something, and I get another blessing, or I learn something, or I get to share something with somebody else. The most amazing thing to me today is being a part of somebody else's recovery, because so many people were willing to be there for me in my early days and help guide me and help make sure I was doing okay and make sure I had what I needed. Now I get to do that for somebody else. I get to show compassion. I get to show mercy. I don't have to. Guys, justice will seek itself. My higher power will dole out justice as necessary. And I know so because it was doled out to me a million times. When I started acting in a way that I deserved mercy and I started looking for mercy, I understand I was being shown so much more mercy than I ever even realized at the time, because I was so wrapped up in my own bullshit that I didn't even realize it. But when I look back at it now, like, I've had 5 or 6 court cases over the last 10 years, and I don't have a single conviction. My record's clean for more than a decade now, which opens up so many doors for me to be able to put those last chapters behind me and officially step into this new life of mine. None of that happened because of stuff that I did. Every single time it was somebody else that God put in my way, put in my life to do something good for me. It's amazing to feel seen and a part of something, and it feels so good to show mercy to somebody else. Guys, there's so much. Everybody thinks they gotta look tough and hard by imposing their will, and you don't. You look like an asshole. But when you carry yourself with quiet dignity and respect, and then you show compassion, that shows a level of strength that not many people get to appreciate or even get to even understand. And it's a beautiful thing, and you're showing others the way, the right way. Guys, that's the video for today. Happy Sunday. God bless you all. Always remember, guys, first of all, thank you so very much for being here, taking the time to watch the video. Please like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.